And, I've never skipped a meal before, so it was really challenging. The idea of skipping meals to me didn't exist. Welcome back! Today we're tackling a big debate. Keto versus intermittent fasting and which one is better for weight loss or fat loss. If you've been struggling to decide, I got you covered. We'll be breaking down the science behind each method, sharing research-backed insights, and giving you the tools to figure out which one might work best for you. And let's jump in. For those of you who may not familiar or unclear with what keto is, I'll start from there. The ketogenic diet has been around for decades, but really gained popularity in recent years. Have you heard of Atkins diet? They're similar. It's high-fat, low-carb diet that forces your body into a state called ketosis. Here's what happens in your body. Normally, your body runs on glucose. That's the sugar we get from carbs. But when you restrict carbs to about 5 to 10% of your daily intake, your body doesn't have enough glucose to run on. Instead, your liver starts converting fats into ketones, which are then used for energy. This process is called ketosis. If you would like to know what happens in your body, then check out this video. According to a study published in the journal Obesity Reviews in 2021, a ketogenic diet has been shown to significantly reduce body weight and improve fat burning, especially during the initial stages of dieting. I'll put the reference down below. It's from actual scientific research. So, if you're someone who loves higher fat foods like avocados, nuts, fatty fish like salmon, you might find keto easier to stick to. But be warned, keto can be really strict. If you slip up and eat carbs, you can get knocked out of ketosis, which can be really frustrating. For me, when I did keto, I used to pack all of my lunch and dinner with me everywhere I went because I knew that restaurant, the little sauces, they have a starch and I knew it will kick me out of ketosis. So, up to you. My point I'm trying to make here is you have to be really careful of all the hidden sugar in foods that you find. If you love structure and have the discipline to stick with a low-carb, high-fat plan, keto might be your best bet. But if you prefer flexibility, intermittent fasting could be easier to integrate into your life without constantly thinking about your food choices. Let's talk about a little bit more in science. According to a review published in Nutrients in 2020, both keto and intermittent fasting can lead to a significant weight loss, fat loss, when followed properly. The difference lies in how sustainable they are for different people. I've been telling you, sustainable. Is it sustainable? Think about it. Whatever you do, it has to be sustainable. Now let's look at intermittent fasting or IF. Unlike keto, this isn't about what you eat, but when you eat. There are different methods. The 16-8 method is the most popular, where you fast for 16 hours and eat during the 8-hour window. There's also 24. I started with 16-8 and then gradually increased to 24. If that works for you, you can also do 1 meal a day. I want to talk about another science fact. Fasting triggers a process called autophagy, where your body starts breaking down damaged cells and regenerating new ones. It's my favorite. Autophagy has been linked to anti-aging, that's why, improved metabolism and better fat burning. In terms of weight loss, intermittent fasting helps by reducing your overall calorie intake. Although I kinda don't recommend that, you should really keep the calorie intake same. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that intermittent fasting improves metabolic health and helps with weight loss by lowering insulin levels and increasing fat oxidation. Now that we understand how both work, let's talk about the pros and cons of each, starting with keto. One of the biggest advantages of keto is that it helps reduce hunger. Fats and protein tend to be more filling than carbs, so people often feel fuller for longer. Keto can be particularly beneficial for people with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. Research published in Diabetes Care showed that a ketogenic diet improves insulin sensitivity and blood sugar control. So think about, in general, are you a type of person who loves sugar? Like, do you get sugar craving? But keto has its downside too. Cutting out carbs can lead to nutrient deficiencies if you're not careful. You'll need to plan your meals to make sure you're getting enough fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Another con is the dreaded keto flu. When your body is adapting to ketosis, you might feel fatigued, get headaches, or experience nausea as your body switches fuel sources. This is normal, but this can last few days to a week. Intermittent fasting. The beauty of IF is that it's flexible. You don't have to restrict certain food groups. You just need to stick to your fasting windows. For women, intermittent fasting has been shown to improve hormone balance, particularly with conditions like PCOS. So if you're looking for that kind of benefit, maybe IF will work better for you. Another study shows that fasting can help regulate insulin, reduce inflammation, and improve reproductive hormones. So based on all these pros, what do you think is best for you? But fasting isn't for everyone. Some women have reported that fasting too aggressively can negatively impact their menstrual cycle and energy levels. Hormonal changes can happen if your body perceives it as starvation. Another potential downside, hunger. Some people find it very difficult to manage cravings during fasting windows, and that can lead to binge eating when they break their fast, and that used to be me. So, which one is better for weight loss? The answer isn't black and white. It depends on your lifestyle, preferences, and how your body reacts. If you love structure and have the discipline to stick with low-carb, high-fat plan, keto might be your best bet. But if you prefer flexibility, intermittent fasting could be easier to integrate into your life without constantly thinking about your food choices. Sustainability is the most important. Otherwise, you're not gonna get the long term because it's lifestyle change. Let's get real for a second. I've seen friends try keto and lose a ton of weight, but some find it really hard to maintain long term because they missed having carbs at family dinners. Think about it, like Halloween's coming, Thanksgiving's coming, Christmas is coming. What do you think is going to happen to you? I love turkey, I can handle, but can you really handle the apple pie when everyone's sharing their pieces? On the other hand, I've also seen people do IF and love the freedom to eat what they want during their eating windows. So let's say you go to Thanksgiving dinner, you can have turkey and then some dessert at the end. With keto, you have to stick to turkey alone. The key is finding what fits your lifestyle. If you enjoy carbs and have social gatherings where food is central, especially in the United States, intermittent fasting may feel less restrictive. But if you enjoy a structured, high-fat diet and don't mind skipping bread or pasta, keto could be a best fit for you. So think about the benefits of both ketos and IF I shared, and also pros and cons. But let me be clear about one thing. No matter which approach you choose, eating refined sugar is detrimental. A study shows that diets in high refined sugar contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, and even promote fat storage in the liver. I know you know that, but I'm still going to put the research paper down in the description. So whether you're on keto or IF, cutting out refined sugar like sodas, processed snacks, candy, sorry Halloween, is essential for both weight loss and overall health. As someone who's done both keto and intermittent fasting, if you were to ask me which one's better, my answer to that is it depends on you. Like, you gotta think about your lifestyle, how your body responds. And I also wanna tell you, please don't do things because other people say it worked for me. That might not work for you and it could actually damage you. So like I keep saying, sustainability is, in my opinion, the most important thing that you should consider. But I can still talk about my own experience with keto and intermittent fasting. So for keto, I'm a person who loves sweets, like you don't understand, who loves sweets. Like I was pre-diabetic because I love sweets. I just don't know what else to say. I love sweets so much that, you know, as a kid, I went to culinary school so I can bake it and I can eat it all by myself. That's how much I love sweets. So keto initially was really tough on me. I love meats as well, but at the same time, cutting off the sugar, like, oh my gosh, brownie, boba, it was so much struggle for me. However, I did it because I have a very strong willpower to get through that. Was it easy? Hell no. Was it worth it? Hell yeah. I say this because having to do keto actually changed my lifestyle. It was my first time not having to eat any sugar in my whole life. And I also felt that cutting the refined sugar, what it can do to my body. Like I felt a lot lighter. It's not just about weight loss, fat loss. I actually felt a lot lighter and my headaches were gone. I felt more refreshed when I woke up. I still craved, but I craved less sweets overall. So, having that kind of experience really opened up for me what I can do more. Whereas for intermittent fasting, I think the first time I tried that was like at least 10 years ago. And initially, I really liked the idea that you don't have to cut all the calorie, you can keep it, but you just gotta stick to your eating window. So initially, I started with 16-8. So I fast for 16 hours and then I eat for 8 hours. And, I've never skipped a meal before, so it was really, really challenging. The idea of skipping meal was, to me, didn't exist. Like, in my culture, if you skip a meal, that's like a huge problem. I mean, for God's sake, when I meet people, people don't say, how are you? They say, have you eaten? And that's how important eating is in my culture. So, for me, skipping a meal was like never an option. And when I first tried this, intermittent fasting, it was really difficult because it was my first time fasting at all. And what I liked about it is that I didn't have to cut down anything. Like, unlike keto, I didn't need to cut down on my sugar. I could eat anything I wanted. But this actually led me to have serious eating disorder. I mean, growing up, I had an eating disorder already, and I was fine for a while. And, when I started intermittent fasting, I didn't realize back then, but later I realized, oh yes, I was doing intermittent fasting in a form of eating disorder. And it is because, one, by the way, my body was not starving. I did eat the calorie I should eat. I just broke it down to 2 meals instead of 3 meals. So my portions were bigger. There are a couple problems that I faced. One is that, yes, I started binging more because my body wanted to compensate for that, fasting. So for my first meal, I would eat a lot more than I normally do. And that has something to do with psychology. And I'll talk about that next time. But for now, that was my problem. And then another one that I noticed is that because intermittent fasting limits the eating window, not what you eat, whenever it was my eating window, I really went, oh my God, I went crazy. Yes, I have the knowledge that refined sugar, boba, whatever, is bad for me if I want to lose weight. But because I was doing intermittent fasting, it kind of gave me like, I can eat it. I just need to stick to the eating window, which was 8 hours, 4 hours, and 1 meal a day. And ended up happening was I would eat really whatever I wanted and overeat, binge eating. Overall, that didn't really work for me. So, think about if you ever had eating disorder in your life. And gosh, eating disorder is a subject nobody likes to talk about. And it also took me years to admit it. So you don't have to, just go out and say, oh, I have eating disorder. You know the answer deep in your heart if you have the tendency or not. And if you do, I don't think I would recommend intermittent fasting to you. And because of this reason, when I was a nutrition coach, the clients that I, recommend intermittent fasting is someone who never been through eating disorder and someone who has tendency of like, if you skip a meal, that's okay. And of course, I've done both keto and intermittent fasting at the same time. So what I did was, initially when I did intermittent fasting, I started with 16 to 8, and then 20 to 4, and then lastly, just 1 meal a day. So at the time, I was doing okay. I thought I could, do a little more because 1 meal a day it became really easy to me. So I decided that, okay, I can add keto because I've done that. Maybe, if I do both, I can get more benefit out of both of those, right? So instead of eating just 1 meal a day, now I increased my eating window to 4 hours. So I was doing 20 and 4. So in that 4 hours, I was eating keto. So like 2 meals or 1.5 meals, depending on how I felt. It was very effective. It limited a lot of my social gatherings. I had to just basically be home doing my meal prep, unless I hang out with my friends at a steakhouse or a Korean barbecue. My thought on this is anything in moderation is the best because that is what makes your diet sustainable. And for me, it's all about how sustainable your lifestyle is. I've done a lot of diets that, enable me to lose tons of weight, but nothing ever lasted. I actually gained more after I've been through severe diets. It's called yo-yo effect. It's like rebound. Rebound? Yeah, rebound. Yeah. In the end, both keto and intermittent fasting are powerful tools for weight loss and fat loss. The key is to pick the method that fits your lifestyle, keeps you feeling good, and is something you can maintain long term. Sustainability, remember that. Let me know in the comments, are you team keto or team intermittent fasting? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Actually, I like comments more, but if you want more science-backed tips on how to live your healthiest life, please do that for me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!